Hey you guys, what's up? Ing Smith back again. Just a couple notes before we get started. Yesterday, I had chipped my front tooth, and my tooth was banging out of my head. It was like pounding in my skull. And I got it fixed last night, but you probably noticed a little couple mistakes. I was having a little bit of trouble reading yesterday, and I must have put the video in black and white, and I don't know how I even did it. I was like out of my mind with pain yesterday, so I'm better now. You guys are very forgiving, and no one even said anything, so thank you. Also, one other thing, I definitely need to bring this up. I keep forgetting to correct this. Although I said Shannon's sibling identifies as non-binary, I, for some reason, keep using the word sister. And I've realized anytime I've ever read anything Shannon has ever written about her, Shannon refuses to gender her right, so she'll say sister, and I just read it, and that's my mistake. I should at least correct for that, for the calling it a sibling. Like I said, I'm still getting used to getting all this stuff right when I read this, and then also I'm reading a document that is like subterfuge incarnate, so it's insanity over here with me reading this stuff. I feel like I'm reading the GD Necronomicon, gonna go cosmically mad from reading this. Okay, sorry, I'll get into it now. Part 4, camming. We're gonna be doing the part before I get into this. We're gonna be doing the part about camming, and as you probably know, some people are very open about being a cam girl. I personally have no qualms with anyone in, selling intimate stuff or OnlyFans or anything like that. I think this is something Emily wants to leave in the past, so it starts to get a little bit too sketchy as far as what Shannon is revealing. I might skip it because I don't... My big thing is, my goal is never ever to shade Emily in this. I feel like she's already been enough of a victim that it's not going to help if I start airing her dirty laundry. Most of this, the whole damn thing is public, so anybody can go read this online. But just out of courtesy to her, some of this I may skip, and it's only because either number one, it's not going to add anything to the conversation, or number two, it's just too personal. Okay, part 4, camming. Now, as I stated, a year and some change later, Emily started camming while living with that same boyfriend and his mother. Now, this is what Shannon says, but we really aren't too sure who she was living with at the time. Oh, and I did confirm with people yesterday, no, her boyfriend did not force her to cam. There was no point in her story where she said, he was a tyrant who forced me to cam, as Shannon says, Emily says. Okay, so thank you guys for correcting me on that too. I was like, I don't remember her saying this, like that she was being forced to do it. Like I showed, she moved in with Bob. Why does she always capitalize Bob? I don't understand that. Like, every letter in Bob is always capitalized. In October 2013, and according to her dedicated Twitter for her porn account, I don't know if I would call that a porn account. She started this account June 12th, 2014, and was only active on it until July 28th that same year, which is a little bit over a month. All right, this is Emily posting on an old page connected to her cam account, so I'm not going to read the name so that if anybody tries to go searching this stuff out, they can't find it as easily. She says, a relative is staying with us tonight, so unfortunately no show tonight. Sorry. Running a little behind. Sorry, my loves. Can I see you all tomorrow night? See you guys tonight at 2 a.m. Hate my roommate. He's such a fucking prick. I said the F word. I try not to cuss. I always try not to cuss. I'm family friendly, everybody. This Twitter only accrued 10 followers, and most of her posts have no likes. The Twitter is still public. Hey, it's okay. I have, I think, like 1,000, and I barely ever get likes. Don't feel bad. She was not being forced to do... Wait! You gotta be kidding me! No! Stop! What? This sentence says she was not being forced to do cam work by an abusive ex-partner for money. What? Guys, did we not just read a whole damn chapter where that's all she said? I'm sorry, I'm like yelling into the mic right now. I'm freaking losing my mind. Did I not just spend yesterday reading about how her ex-boyfriend forced her to do this? And now I'm reading a whole chapter on how her ex-boyfriend didn't force her to do this? Am I losing all sense of logic here? Or is this Bible of Emily's sins losing all? This is insane, what? Okay, I'm just going to struggle through it. She was not being forced to do cam work by an abusive ex-partner for money. In fact, her ex's mother later employed her to do graphic design work for a yearbook company, a job that Emily talked about on her channel multiple times. She also stated this woman bought her expensive... Girls? What? She also stated this woman bought her expenses... I think she wants to say expensive gifts, but it says this woman bought expensive girls. I don't... That sounds horrible. Oh my God, this might be the worst chapter yet. She also stated this woman, being the mother, bought her expensive, I think she wants to say gifts, but it says girls, is her best friend, and is her kid's surrogate grandma. Okay, whatever. Emily also shit-talked her boyfriend on her Twitter for her cam account, like in this tweet where she says, hate my roommate, he's such a fucking prick. Hashtag need a new life. Sorry, I don't know why I read it like that. All right, then she shows the post. Who cares? Oh, what? A couple had a fight online? Wow, first time ever. Never seen that before. She spoke on YouTube about having to share a bedroom with him after they broke up in her I dated a sociopath video, so this comment is about him. Yeah, that's right. She called him she said that he called this ex-boyfriend a sociopath who forced her to do cam work. But now we're reading a chapter where he didn't force her to do cam work. However, he also wasn't her roommate, but her boyfriend at the time. How do you know that? You know exactly when they broke up. You're like, as of this date, from this time to this time, they were actually together. On March 17th, 2013, they immediately broke up from 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, how do you know exactly? Like, there can be times where you drift back and forth between being broken up and together when you're in these, like, you know, wishy-washy, lovey-dovey, post-college, post-high school relationships. If he was forcing her to do cam work and heavily monitoring / in charge of her web access, the way she said, when did she say this? He would have not allowed this to be posted, but again, she only did camming for 1 month, a year after Anthony and her worked together on Autumn's Moment, 3 months after filming Stardust, a year after she had been fired from her other jobs because of YouTube, meaning her story about how she was forced into camming, then later made her homeless is again a lie. But earlier you said she got fired because someone reported her camming channel. You didn't... Okay, whatever, man. You know what? I'm just going to read the story as it goes. I'm guessing it's switching between Earth 1 and Earth 2042. You know, I feel like we're jumping realms here and reading different stories colliding in some sort of insane Mandela effect. Reminder, I was able to find screenshots backing up... Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's another one where Shannon outs herself. Reminder, I was able to find screenshots backing up the fact that she was fired from a job because of her cyber bully, quote unquote, meaning Emily would have been able to do so in her own video. However, she didn't show those screenshots because she lied about the dates in which everything occurred and what she was doing. She can't mention sugarfruit. She did mention sugarfruit! Because then people would find videos of her stating she was being harassed because of her YouTube channel and videos talking about her actions. She can't show the picture that confirms she was fired in 2013 because she is saying this happened when she was camming, which happened a year after Emily's narrative falls apart. If you look at it closely, something she didn't think anyone would do because no one has been stalking her. What paper do you show that you were fired? What paper do you show that you... Has anyone ever lost a job? Have I ever been fired? I don't think I've ever been fired. I've been laid off before. I don't remember receiving any paper that said my job ended. You know, like, I never had to apply for unemployment, but, like, when you leave, I mean, maybe there's like an exit interview, but we're talking about like retail level jobs. I've quit retail level jobs, and there's no like exit paper. What the hell? She didn't show a paper that proved that she got fired. What do they give you? Like a bright red paper that in black impact print that says you've been fired? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Sorry, I'm losing my mind. I'm actually starting to cuss. I'm losing my mind so much. The only reason I was made aware of all this is because Emily slandered me, and I had to pay a PI to find evidence I didn't actually do any of what she said I did. She put the PI part in this. This is a part that was completely left out. Oh, man. I heard she didn't want to put this part in there because people were like, you didn't hire a PI. Like, a PI wouldn't be this crappy. As for proof, Emily and Bob were still dating at the time. Emily was doing cam work, making him the only abusive ex who could have potentially done this to her. So did he do it or did he not force her to do it? Which one are you trying to tell us? Oh my God, dude. It just keeps going back and forth. She keeps saying Emily got all her dates and stories wrong, but every story and date in this thing is wrong, and it's written down. Like, it's a book that she published, read over, and put online. Like, Emily just did it off the top of her head, probably reading from a script. And it made more sense. Here's a screenshot of her commenting on a Facebook photo of him in October 2014, showcasing they were still together. Okay, I guess this is her ex. This is some mean-ass comments. Emily didn't write this, but somebody else wrote, "You got Down syndrome, boy?" That's horrible. Who would write such a mean comment? And Emily writes, "So sexy. Thanks for picking me to model for the others. For the other ones, love you." What does that got to do with camming? Modeling is not camming. Whatever, man. You know what? Whatever. However, we further can prove that the allegation she levels at him is false. So now we're back to not believing that he forced her to cam. Okay. I don't know if she like thought this was written really well and clear, but didn't realize that it was like word salad. Because one, according to herself, she was still living with this person when she started her YouTube channel, something she referenced in multiple of her early videos favorably, with her first video being one saying they are still together, and states in those videos that they are very best friends. She has countless Instagram posts talking about him, again extremely favorably, despite him also being the only person who could have forced her to do cam work. Where did she say she was forced to do cam work in her video? Does she think, like, if she said, I had to do cam work to make money, like, that she was, like, desperate to make money and that was, like, her only outlet for making it, that someone was, like, putting her in chains like the movie Saw and making her do it? Is that what she thought? Like, she doesn't read into any kind of verbiage or, like, tone of voice? She's just like, if she said she had to do it, then she was in a cam girl prison. We can also disprove he and his mother forced her to do cam work. So we're back to disproving it. Got it. Okay. Because she allowed both of the people who allegedly forced her into this position around her child and called him that child's uncle. If there's stuff about children in this, I'm not going to go into it because I really feel like people's children are like, they choose whether or not they want the children online. I don't want to. So if there's like any, I'm not going to put anything about Emily's children on here. I refuse to do that. Like, this is too much, Shannon. There is pictures in there. That's disgusting, Shannon. You don't put people's kids. The kids are innocent. They have nothing to do with either of, like, your drama between each other. This really makes me sick, man. All right. It's just some comments about her kid and stuff. Okay, great. According to some of her YouTube videos and Instagram posts, she is still in regular contact with this man and calling his mother. Why did she write that 2 times? And calling his mother her child's grandmother and making them gifts that she showcases online. It should also be known that this woman gave Emily a job as well, which is something Emily has talked about in multiple of her YouTube videos, specifically about how she would quote, never be fired for what she does online because her boss is her best friend and her surrogate mother, which is a statement she confirmed on Instagram. I find it alarming that she would say something like that about two people who allegedly forced her, because she never said that. You're saying that. You're making this up. Oh my God, dude. While she was forced to do cam work, but seeing as neither of those things actually happen, and Emily only states that to further victimize herself and slander another ex-boyfriend, I am not surprised. I am surprised these two people choose to associate themselves with her still, but chances are that they do not know what she's stating in this video. But you're going to try and make sure she finds out, I bet, huh? You'll probably try to contact this lady and tell her all sorts of stuff. Luckily, she probably already knows you're a total psychopath, Shannon. Emily has lied so much, as I have shown, and she didn't think anyone would call her or find evidence to disprove her. Yeah, you didn't really do that. Despite it being publicly available. No, not all of it was publicly available. You just saved a ton of stuff. Because she didn't think anyone would look into her lies and put together a timeline the way I have. Ooh! Little pat on the back right there. Put the knife down for a second. Pat yourself on the back. However, it makes you wonder why she didn't think of that, if she genuinely thought she was being stalked for as long as she stated. The saddest part of this entire story is how she is lying about her ex, a man who currently over on Reddit and on YouTube on his accounts is defending her actions because he knows she's not saying he did. You're the only one who keeps saying this. She's never said this. While she is accusing him of forcing her to do cam work, she is not. Oh, we're back to this guy again. Voila Monben. This video is completely plagiarized. The song called Stardust was written by Anthony Parker with Emily Artful on vocals. I have the link, but it's dead because Anthony deleted all his socials after her Creep video came out. Okay. Can someone go on the Wayback Machine? I don't know how that works. Didn't we read this one before? Why does it just suddenly cut? Like, here's the worst thing about her quote-unquote evidence is, like, she'll go through a big chunk of evidence and then suddenly add something to it that didn't really connect to the rest of the story. Like, now I'm reading a Reddit post. I wonder what lie she has told him in order to explain away how she only did cam work while living with him, or if he knew she was doing it all the time. I wonder if he is aware of the things she has stated online, or if he just foolishly believes her story sans proof and sans logic. What's sans proof and sans logic? Is it like Sans from Undertale? However, his ridiculous statements about my husband lead me to not trust him within a mile of myself. Okay, I'm sure he doesn't trust you either, Shannon. That's probably why he doesn't believe any of the stuff you're saying. All right, God was nice to me today, and part 4 was much smaller, so I need to return the niceness to you guys and pay it forward and do part 5. So you're getting 2 parts with this one. Part 5. I love this title. Part 5 is called Things That Don't Make Sense. You could have just called this whole book this thing. Part 5, Things That Don't Make Sense. Because Emily's timeline and story is false. Are false, Shannon! Verbal strike! Sorry, when people mess up is and are, it really drives me nuts. Sorry. There are a couple of loose ends of accusations that she made. She used the wrong loose, too. She used loser ends, not loose ends. There are a couple of loose ends of accusations that she made that don't make sense. Let me point them out right now. Actually, I want to try and read this in like how I imagine Shannon was typing this. In her original story about being assaulted by Anthony, she stated he came over to her home unannounced, saw her incapacitated, and assaulted her. We now know that she didn't do heroin, according to herself, on her deviant art blogs in her father's home, only moving into his home when she was 6 months sober and had been sober when they met up publicly in November. Do you think she reads the whole thing like that? Like as she's typing it furiously with her clicky fingernails? is this going to go over the same stuff we just talked about? I mean, didn't we just go over this about how all these dates don't match up that Shannon wrote down? I'm just going to do it. I can't do it in that voice the whole time. This is too serious of a thing for me to mock it. So, sorry, I really didn't know that it was about to go into, like, drug use and stuff like that. So, I'm going to go back to normal voice. Sorry, guys. Meaning that Anthony wouldn't have known where she was when she was using and getting sober. Oh, so now Anthony doesn't know where she lives. But, guys, think about this. They don't know where she lives, but they know what the inside of the colors of her dad's house look like. What color walls are in the inside of her dad's house. So how do you not know where someone lives, but also know what the inside of their house looks like? All right? What, do you have like a fucking spy cam in there? I am losing my mind. I can't believe I'm cussing this much. Don't get any gift teddy bears, any nanny bears from Shannon. She's going to know what color your walls are in your house. In her originally story about, meaning that Anthony wouldn't have even known where she was when she was using and getting sober. When she was using and getting sober, was she doing them both at the same time? I don't think that's possible. Had they ever had sex after that at any point, she would have been completely sober from heroin. Oh, dang. Shannon's an expert on addiction. That's great. You guys, there's a new counselor out there. You don't need BetterHelp anymore. Just call Shannon up. Had they ever had sex after that, at that point, she would have been completely sober from heroin, according to her own testimony, for the last 7 years, except strangely, when she changed it to this year while accusing us of stalking with no evidence. She didn't change it to this year. What? Is she trying to say she changed it this year? She also doubled down and made sure to state on Twitter she was high on heroin, so her say... Oh, God, she didn't even write this right. She's trying to say, so her saying she was, but it says, so her say she was using anything else from here on out would also be her changing the story. She didn't say she only used heroin. She said she was using, like, multiple different drugs, and heroin was at the worst point of her addiction. I even remember this part of the story, Shannon. Did you actually watch her video? Me thinks you did not watch video. That's how you would probably write that in your book. Me not watch video, me not totally know. She recently stated that she might have relapsed at some point after that, after realizing there are social media posts that say otherwise and giving an earlier sobriety date. This is laughable, seeing as she is now saying she got sober in 2015, but in 2016 wrote and sang about a song giving the 2013 sobriety date. Oh my God. Yo, so you're launching into a debate over when she got sober from a song she made? Oh my God. Can you imagine coming to court and be like, Judge, this client over here is definitely guilty because in their song they wrote, you kill me. And so they most likely were the killer. It says it in this song. Songs are perfect evidence of admittance of murder. Like, lyrics from a song? Are you kidding me? Why celebrate an old sobriety date in 2016? If you are 3 years sober, if you are only one. Okay, yeah, whatever. She didn't even write this part right. She's showing Emily's post from a long time ago. It says, I have thrown several different numbers out there for my sobriety date. It's because it's impossible to accurately pin down due to relapses. Oh, I called it. I said this a long time ago. I said, hey, Shannon, guess what? People relapse. Duh. But good old expert addiction counselor Shannon's on the case. Let's start a whole new series of intervention in America, and we can just have Shannon help everybody out. She's an expert on this stuff, guys. Oh, geez, I probably should have added them about 6 years sober from hard substances. I actually called my old program director to get my drug test information. They tested me every 2 weeks on the regular, so they had the most accurate date. Yeah, like what? Sorry she didn't have every single thing memorized. She's not a human computer. She only tweeted this after I made it clear in direct messages with another party that we had proof she was lying and was actually sober earlier from this date. So she's clearing her name by like adding more dates to things to show like exact timelines. You wrote a 112-page book about timelines. How can you yell at somebody else for also starting to put timelines up? You literally have like a Venn diagram of timelines in your own damn book. Pot calling the kettle black over here. However, even if she were to later relapse, completely normal thing for addicts to do, should not be ashamed, not shamed. That doesn't change the fact that when they met up, she stated the assault happened. She was sober according to her own words. No! Yeah, addicts never lie. Her own words. Both at the time in 2013 through 2016, in her I Dated a Sociopath video, and even afterwards up again until 2021, where she changed it to fit her narrative there. Every other time they were to meet up after that was either at Anthony's grandfather's home to record music or in public to film for the music videos where other people were present. She also changed her story in YouTube comment section, saying she knowingly and willfully invited him over and let him in, only for him to assault her because she was high. Again, this cannot be true because she was 6 months sober when she moved back into her father's home. Oh boy. Updates and clarifications. I don't need to go through. This is like all the same stuff we just went through. Her original story was that he came over and she was already incapacitated. She made it two separate words. Incapacitated. Then changing of the story might be because she found evidence that negated her original story. It might be because she found evidence that negated her original story. That she might have found evidence that negated her original story. That'd be a great one to take to the judge. Your Honor, I have a theory that there's evidence that exists, and I'd like to bring that to your attention right now. The same way I have just from seeing her publicly accessible social media, but regardless, her story changed. But in every iteration, the assault could not have happened the way she states it did. Yeah, you know what? Some people get some stuff mixed up when they have a traumatic thing happen to them. They might not completely remember, nor would they want to completely remember every single thing. What do you think? She was keeping a notepad as this happened? Like, what? What is your deal with saying, like, she got a few of the things wrong in this very traumatic event? Wow, that's a massive surprise. And all of the proof has been from Emily directly. Emily lied about doing cam work on the dates she did it and lies about why she was doing it. So was she forced or wasn't she forced? What are you alluding to? You keep going back on the things you say yourself. Instead, in 2013, she was doing YouTube on the Sugar Fruit channel, a channel that she herself said led to years of people catfishing others as her and stalking her, something she stated herself in 2015 on a 9gag post when she found another account using her photos as well as already mentioned in a YouTube video. Okay, great, whatever. Emily selectively forgets that she did YouTube. No, she didn't forget. She talked about it before. And this channel got a lot of harassment sent her way, so much so she got fired from her job, got her Facebook hacked. Oh my God, we are just going over the same things again and again and again. Like, she filled this with so much fluff. There's no crunch to it at all. And had videos of her sent to her friends on the Facebook, despite her vocalizing that at the time, up until this year, she deleted her videos talking about what occurred. Emily said she started getting Facebook requests from people she didn't know in 2013 when she started working with Anthony professionally, and said it was all Anthony and allegedly me as well. However, after she got clean in November 2012, she and Anthony became Facebook friends themselves, meaning he wouldn't have needed to make a fake account to get information on her. By the way, she says was done. Why would she have to make a fake Facebook account when she was actively talking to him and Bryce? He wouldn't have. Wait, what? Why would he have to make a fake Facebook account when she was actively talking to him and Bryce? He wouldn't have. Why not? You could have a real account and make a fake account too. And then you pretend the fake person is not you and you still use your normal account. Is she serious? Like, that went over her head, that aspect? She also debunks the claims later on that on Twitter without realizing it by showing their Facebook messages from the time. Oh, so she's saying because he was talking on Facebook to her through messages, that shows there's no way he was using a fake account to talk to her, because you can't possibly make a real account and then a fake account, talk to someone on your real account, but also harass them on your fake account. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, what, do you think your computer's going to explode if you create two Facebook accounts? Like, what are you playing at? Like, these are just such dumb... Oh, God. I'm sure even you guys are, like, rolling your eyes into the back of your head. Like, at this point, they've probably done loops. Emily says her Facebook account was hacked and nudes were taken off of it and placed onto PhotoBucket publicly, including images of her as a minor. And here we go. PhotoBucket doesn't allow nude or lewd photos on their site, so this is untrue. PhotoBucket policies are actively very anti-nudity. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people personally wrote me and said, dude, I used to put nudes on there all the time. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, that's, if any of the things she said were false, it's this. Yeah, I used to be a scene kid back in the days, too. I can tell you a lot of scene kids put nudes on there. I absolutely own CP. Wait, what? Hold on, slow down. Emily also doesn't show any proof of this happening, but says in the video that my husband and I absolutely owned CP of her. Oh, that's what they're talking about when they say Shannon owns CP. I kept getting so confused by this. Like, I was like, what? I was wondering, like, how does CP play into this? Yeah, because she was underage. That's true. I never even thought about that. Oh, my God. Yeah, you know what? Maybe she does now. Because before I used to think, like, I don't think Shannon has CP. Like, I think that's going a little bit too far. But if she has pictures of Emily nude under the age of adulthood, doesn't that count as CP? I don't know. I know there's, like, different laws in different states and stuff like that, so I don't know quite how that works. I mean, either way, it's disgusting. I don't approve. Which is abhorrent and a lie and defamation. Reminder, these are allegations she took to the police, to her lawyer, and a PI, and they all stated that she had nothing to confirm we did this, but she confidentially said this on social media to millions of people. This alone with the probable false rape claim is enough for defamation, but she goes on and makes things worse. Again, I can actually prove her Facebook was hacked with screenshots from her own currently active account, but again, these screenshots go against her story that she was hacked when she was doing cam work, which would have happened in 2014. So what, you're just saying it's not possible she was hacked more than once? So maybe she has more than one screenshot of getting hacked. Like, what's your point on that one? Because according to her currently active Facebook, she stated on August 30th, 2013, before she had been fired from her job, that her account was hacked and was, quote, sending her threatening messages. Again, this would have happened while she was posting as Emily Sugarfruit on social media. Last Instagram post under that name was on Thanksgiving 2013, meaning that name was actively in use. It doesn't show proof of the account being phished, which would have been done via email, which she says she still has access to. You don't always get your account hacked by being phished. There's there's other ways to hack people. Says the location of the hacking / login attempt was in San Jose, but she didn't think much of it because, quote, all of her friends were from San Jose, so it could have been anyone. The thing that, like, really kind of teased me off the most about all this is, like, she's bringing up point and point again about all these things Emily complained about, but Emily even said it took her years and years to put all this together, that she realized it was the same two people doing it over and over again. She didn't just suddenly every video keep saying, hey guys, being hacked by Shannon again, being hacked by Anthony again. It wasn't until the video we all saw, the Creepshow video, that she said, guys, look, I've been going over this again and again and again, and this harassment has not stopped from this person, and linked it all back. I think for a while she might have wanted to really believe that it wasn't that, because it's kind of scary to think. It's scary to think a person would go to this much trouble to stalk, hack, and harass you all this time. Your mind doesn't want to go there right away. Your mind doesn't want to be like, this person is this obsessed with me that it's like on a sickening level. Your mind wants to be like, probably some people just don't like me and this is coming from random people. But no, this is scarier than that, and that was probably hard for her to admit. If anything, I hope this shows how outlandish her claims were. Says she was with an abusive partner who forced her to do cam work in 2014, who made her homeless directly after she lost her job, despite stating he was a loving partner in the past story times on her channel and allowing him around her children. She also has drawings of him still live on Instagram. What? She's literally showing like the same couple pictures over and over again. Oh my God. Again, another picture of her kid. Like, don't do this, man. Don't put her kid online. At the same time, on various social media posts, Emily also stated she was signed working model who did full-time. This is also a lie. Emily has professional photos taken of her for her music and whatnot. However, she was never signed. She was never a signed model like she says on the DeviantArt and in a blog post for the Awkward Years project. I mean, she already talked about this, how, like, she had listed being a model. You know, like, the thing is, I've actually done modeling work in Japan. This is not to brag that, ooh, guys, I'm a model. It's the fact that I'm 0.01% of the population here. When you go into modeling, usually you're hired by an agency, and they'll take, like, headshots and body shots and all your measurements and everything like that, and then you're put on a file and you're kept in the company's log and you are listed as a model. So in a sense, I mean, you're always kept on as a model. Now, I've modeled, I think, for a total of 3 different clothing companies in all of Japan, and it was over like the last 14 years. Do I consider myself a model? No, I consider myself a token white dude who they go to for filming white guy with tattoos propaganda or for their brand and stuff. You know, is it cliche out here in Japan? Yeah, kind of, whatever. I get some money for doing it. But when you're like when you're like a teenager or like you're in college and you got yourself like some headshots and stuff, you're way more excited about it. You'd be like, yeah, I'm a model. I don't see any problem with her calling herself a model in these. She probably was part of some sort of agency. Was she doing nonstop work? You know, probably not, or we would have saw her out in a bunch of magazines and stuff. All right, here's the really creepy stuff of her, Shannon having like ancient yearbook photos. I shouldn't say ancient, that sounds so mean. Submission, Emily, 15 years old. Picture of her 15 years old from high school, great. Now 22 years old, model residing in Bay Area, California. As for personal, I guess you'd call it success story, when I was 17/18, I got off medication that I was taking since before puberty. Turns out my natural frame is pretty small. Yeah, I'm not going to read all that stuff. That stuff gets into like her body and things like that. Like I don't like to like read stuff like that. I feel like that's more private. Emily states that she is a signed model here in 2015 when she would have been working at a beauty supply shop. You can do 2 jobs at one time. Like, every time I've done modeling in Japan, like for clothing, I never stopped working as an English teacher. It's not like my phone was ringing off the hook to wear like punk rock clothes. I only bring this up to once again show a pattern of lying and her representing herself falsely. This isn't really lying or being false. This is having more than one job and being more excited about the other job that you barely get any calls on and not talking about the other job. If she can provide any proof she was ever signed model the way she says she can, I will gladly retract this statement. It sounds like Shannon's never had any experience with going to get headshots. Any of you out there listening to this right now realize how silly this sounds, that you can just like literally, you can walk into a modeling or ad agency or anything like that. Like, you can literally walk in the door and say, hey, I'm interested in doing modeling. And as long as you don't look like a total scumbucket woolly booger, like, they'll be like, all right, well, fill out these papers and like we'll give you a call. And then they'll call you back if you didn't like completely screw up the paperwork, and maybe they'll take some headshots and be like, I guess we'll keep you on file. You know, the one thing they'll always try to do is like sell you expensive headshots. They'll be like, you know, if you really want to up your profile, you should take these $2,000 screen like shots. It's always like a scam, but you're still listed as a model, I guess. I mean, like, you still have a profile, whatever. Emily stated someone copied her exact friend's Facebook account with photos, posts, and the like in order to find out where she was working in 2014 after she stopped camming and was, quote, doing better. Says that this was definitely Anthony who did this in order to find out where she works so he could get her fired again. However, later on Twitter, she shows messages between Anthony and her that show her telling him where she worked. Here he discovers what kind of restaurant I work at. This is Emily posting on Facebook. Here he discovered what kind of restaurant I work at. This is also proof that I was about to start working as a makeup artist. I did not end up getting a license and instead just advertised on social media and got clients through Craigslist. And then it says, Facebook user, how are you earning money and what are these goals? Still the blank place, and to get my certification for makeup artistry. So, like, that doesn't show the restaurant that she was working at. That shows, like, a place she was going to train to do makeup. How does this prove what like, I feel like she'll say one thing and be like, here's proof of this. And then she'll show something that doesn't give proof of that. Like, I don't know if she wants me to, like, assimilate that into proof in my mind or, like, look at it and be like, well, she showed something. I guess something is proof. Like, I want to see. She never says what restaurant she's working at. What are we talking about here? Oh, God. Meaning that he couldn't have needed to go through effort in order to find out where she worked at and that they were in contact with each other during this time in a friendly way. Emily is actively providing receipts that disprove her story now. How brave, how noble. Side note, at this time I was dating someone else and not speaking to Anthony at all. So then why do you have all these records? How do you have so many records from the time that you supposedly weren't friends or didn't know Anthony or weren't hanging out with him or weren't dating him? Like, why do you have all these records then? Okay, I would have, according to Emily, because I was apparently jealous of their previous relationship that hadn't been a thing in 3 years' time, would be gone. This person also happens to be the brother of someone Emily is friends with, according to Facebook, again showing how interconnected our social circles are. So you go about saying, like, we weren't that close, but also we were close. Our lives didn't only connect with Anthony, Emily knows this, but omits evidence in order to build a narrative. Emily states on a screen in her video that she was also working as a professional makeup artist at this time, and Anthony and I lost her a huge client because we allegedly wrote a negative review saying that all her brushes were dirty and she was unhygienic. She later states that what she said in the video wasn't true on Twitter and shows screenshots that disprove what she is saying. She doesn't realize she did this, though, because she doesn't remember her lies and no one calls it out, seemingly because no one was paying attention. All right, can we see this? When I did makeup as a side gig, they also lost me a big client because they left in negative reviews saying that all my brushes were dirty and I was unhygienic. At that point, I felt like there was nowhere I could hide, so I stopped doing makeup and found a job out of town, and I largely stopped posting online. But where does she say that she made this up? Also, guys, like, this quote she's listing, like, is, like, not an actual, like, Facebook post or anything. It's just, like, a bar of text inside of, like, a gray background. Like, this isn't from any official website or anything. Like, it's like if I just typed it and put it into, like, a text editor. And also, where does Emily come back and be like, guys, I totally lied when I said I was fired for, like, that. So again, tell us what she has for evidence. We go to look at the evidence. It's not that evidence. Like, this is like a pattern. Later on Twitter, she contradicts this statement by showing screenshots of her conversation with Anthony, saying she was just about to start work as a makeup artist after she gets her certification, but then states in tweets itself that she never got her license, simply advertised herself on social media, and got clients via Craigslist. Here he discovers... Did you just post the... She's just posting the same message again. What the crap? how does anything change? Why are you just like posting like pictures and messages just to make it look like you have a ton of stuff here? Because you're like literally just repeating the same messages over and over again. How could someone have left a bad review for her makeup if she never had a Yelp? Can't you still be like an independent contractor or whatever? Like you can still just like do a job and have a Yelp account, can't you? I don't know. I don't have Yelp in Japan. Like you can't use Yelp in Japan. It wouldn't work. Unless I was doing it like as a English write-up of a Japanese place. What? Like can't you can just anybody can make a Yelp, right? Do you need like a business certification number to make a Yelp? Guys, let me know in the comments down below. I think anybody can make a Yelp, right? Like you don't need like a business ID or a tax number or anything like that. That would be impossible for the world to fill out internationally. I also found the social media where she is talking about a showcase of her makeup. And hello everyone, this is my first post here on Tumblr. I will be uploading a header and a few sketches here in a bit. Remember, just because you don't see exactly what you want posted doesn't mean it's not doable. There isn't a limit to what kind of looks I will do. You want face paint, I'll do face paint. You want dark and vampy, I'll do dark and vampy. You want Lady Gaga cheek prosthetics, I say how high and how pointy, Emily. Okay, so what? So she worked without a license. It's not like she's like doing surgery here. Welcome to my Tumblr. Here you will find pictures of looks, tutorials, and products, suggestions, and reviews. Please note I only accept appointments through phone or email, one of which I will provide here. Side note, her Emily Artful channel URL used to be their troll face YT the retro face YT. Okay, there we go. God, that was not easy to read. And if you go to YouTube, the retro face YT, it is her account. If she tries to deny being her at any point, she would have to account for that. She only posted 5 times this blog, and it was only active for about a month between September and October 2014. She was always the person featured and never showed any client work unless you count her doing sugar skulls on her boyfriend of Halloween. Okay. This would be months after she stopped doing cam work, which again, according to her story, she would have been homeless at the time. But as I've shown, she was actively living with the same boyfriend from the sugar fruit profile and his mom, seeing as he's featured in her blog. No negative reviews are left on the blog, and most of her posts have 0 notes on them. There are no further accounts for her under this name besides her YouTube channel, so no negative reviews exist. In the video, she said she worked as a pro makeup artist on Twitter. She said she did it on social media and Craigslist, and as I have shown, she never actually worked as one, besides on herself and her boyfriend, who again was an abusive monster. So now we're back to he's abusive. Okay, gotcha. Who apparently kicked her out at this time. She did, however, have a YouTube channel that is unclear if she ever posted to, called Emily MUA. In looking more into this, Emily mentioned in her I Dated a Sociopath video that she worked at a beauty supply shop at the time, that being in 2016, and I was able to find that it had been Peninsula Beauty in San Mateo. You were able to find that? Like, I don't think I've ever looked up any, like, even my worst enemy, I've never ever looked up, like, anywhere they ever worked. I just didn't care. I've never been so angry or mad at somebody that I'd want to find out, like, their work history, you know. Even if I hire somebody, like, I just do the normal background check. I don't even go, like, looking for, like, years and years and years past. Like, all the way back in 2013 or 2016, like, you know, what was the last job you worked? How did it go? I'll call your employer. That's it. Okay. She shows a screenshot of some video she made called $10 Art Supply Challenge. This will become relevant in a bit, namely because Emily's video states she was extremely careful about giving out her private information on YouTube, both in her Scariest Customer Ever story time, which is still live on her channel, and her I Dated a Sociopath story time. She states she works at a beauty supply store in the San Francisco Bay Area. In this challenge video, she uses a branded pen from her artwork And in her draw vlog, she shows her neighborhood as well as her walking around her favorite shops, all while saying she lives in San Mateo. Okay, so what? This was further confirmed by Peninsula's Beauty Instagram post from 2015, a year after she was posting to the Tumblr account, clearly her artwork with lipstick swatches on it. I then went and found the Yelp page for this establishment and found out that there were no reviews naming Emily, mentioning her doing makeup or anything of the like. In fact, no reviews exist naming her at all, meaning at most we can prove she was a sales associate working at a makeup store. Okay, so let's say that that's true. Let's say in this case, Shannon's totally right. She was a sales associate working at a makeup store selling makeup. And she didn't have her license, but I bet she got a discount on makeup that she could bring home and then post to Craigslist to do makeup for free so that she could eventually train to get her license. I mean, this doesn't seem crazy to me. This doesn't seem, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, there's no point where she said, hey guys, I got the license. I'm a licensed makeup artist. She just said she worked there. And even Shannon has to say, well, I guess she could have been an associate. Yeah. You crazy, crazy, crazy person. What? Why? Why go into tiny dissections like this? Like, these are such a microcosm of Emily's life and what they have to do with interactions with you and Anthony, that it's so obvious you try to throw as much weird fluff in here. It's like, well, back during this time, she said she had 500 hairs on her head, but she only had 498 hairs on her head. Like, that's what we're doing here. Like, this is crazy. Like, meaning at most we can prove she was a sales associate. Okay, I read that. Moreover, she said we left a negative review, which lost her a client. Okay, so is she saying you left the review on the company's Yelp page or on her personal Yelp page? Oh, sorry, my dishwasher just went off. You're hearing it beep in the background. Everything in Japan beeps when it's done. I'm not going to go back and delete that. This is taking too long. Emily then stated in her video that after she lost her makeup job, she would never post where she was, her schedule, or anything else about her life on public platform because it would be used to harass her. She said that plain as day in her video and also put that text on screen. Oh, and we got another one of these just like text with gray in the background. When I did my makeup as a side gig, they also lost me a big client because they left a negative review. See, she even calls it a side gig. So that means she had a main gig, which was probably working as a sales associate at a makeup shop. And her side gig, which means you do it on the side, was probably going on Craigslist and posting that she could do makeup. Now, if they went on her Yelp review and said that she was doing makeup and had dirty brushes, and they did that at the shop she worked at, the shop might have been like, hey, Emily, you're not a licensed makeup artist. Why are you doing that? And also using dirty brushes. That looks really bad for the company. You're fired. Like, it's still not like, it doesn't blow your mind to think that they could do that. You're not just like, oh, well, I guess that is impossible. She was not a licensed makeup artist. She lied about her job. Like, she didn't lie. She said she had a side gig as a makeup artist. Even her own stories are like so easily dissected. It like just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not trying to jump to massive conclusions here either. I'm thinking about what my own life was like as a college student or as an artist at the very beginning of my career, and like how many damn jobs I worked, how much stuff I had to do on the side to make ends meet. And like, this just seems totally normal for the average starving artist. Like, I'm not like blown out of my mind here thinking like, yeah, you had like a bunch of things you kept trying to work on. You tried to be a model. You tried to be a makeup artist. You tried to work at a makeup shop. I did the same kind of things. I mean, I wasn't doing makeup. No one wanted to look like they got hit by a forklift. It also is important to note that what she is saying would have happened between September 2014 to October 2015, even though, as I've shown, none of those actually took place. However, I will work with those parameters, as that is when she was posting online saying she was a professional makeup artist. So after October 2015, according to herself, she was so afraid of harassment stalking and the like that she actively stopped posting as to where she was on all social media, or at least she states, but much like every other statement she gave, it is a lie. At the time, she was using her Emily Artful Instagram back in 2015 under the name Emily Velvet, which was publicly available before she became a YouTube artist, as seen by the multiple times public accounts like Mod Notebooks reached out to her and other accounts to find her via tags. Okay, so she used a different name in the past. So what? Who cares? I really don't care. Okay, Emily was publicly posting her location online, publicly stating where she was and stating that she would be there every Tuesday. Okay, so the thing she posted online is like where she's doing like live painting and stuff, like on the street type thing, like just doing sketches and stuff of people going by, or like caricatures and stuff like that. And it's like, you can come see me when I'm doing this on the street publicly. So, like, what is she supposed to do? Like, I mean, that's not her. She's not living on the street next to where she's painting, and that's not an actual location. Like, that's, like, on the street. Like, I'm on this corner and this corner, and I'll be doing pictures. Like, she's just trying to get some money. Like, again, these are all, like, starving artist tactics that I used to do myself. Like, I don't... Anthony also followed her on this account, and they would interact regularly, most of which she deleted before making her video. However, she did accidentally keep up one post where she drew Mario in March of 2016 with the caption, "At Peter Ben Parker, I always think of you when I see Mario." Really? I think of Koopa or like Bowser. Or actually, I think of Waluigi. When I think of Anthony, I think of Waluigi. All right. Now she's going to show some messages, which, again, I can't tell what this is from. It says, Parker, it does. It absolutely does. Parker, oh my lord. Okay. I guess they're talking about the Mario picture. This would be after she said he had assaulted her and emotionally abused her, after he had allegedly gotten her fired, made her homeless, and more. Even though that homeless thing didn't happen, this also might have occurred after she said she was harassed on Snapchat. However, no exact dates were given for that, but it seems to have happened sometime in 2016. All the evidence she had to say it was us should already be in her possession at this time, so why is she publicly posting a flirty message to him? I will never know. But that's not all regarding her post location online publicly. She also posted on Instagram in July of 2016 showing her playing fetch with her dog and playing with another dog and tagging their location at San Mateo Central Park and Red Morton Sports Fields. She did this again. Oh my god, she's like posting public parks. Like, yeah, okay, well, she didn't, like, she said she wasn't going to put her location or her place of business anymore. These are public parks. Like, they are literally, like, giant national parks that are, like, miles and miles big. Like, who cares? Who cares? These are not... She's not working in the park. She's not a park ranger. Oh, my God. She also posted videos publicly to her channel in 2016 when she stated she was living at the time, walking around her city, her favorite spots, and more. Of course, she says that she also posted all these personal pictures, but she doesn't have any of these. She only has the pictures of Emily posting from the park because, like, that's something a sane person would do. Just post pictures of their dog running around a park. Someone saying, I'm not going to post where I live or work, and then they don't post where they live or work makes sense. But, of course, Shannon doesn't have these. Instead, she just says, oh, well, she also posted those. I just don't have any more because, like, Emily took them down. She also posted numerous other videos, like the I Dated a Sociopath video and her Scariest Customer Ever video, where she talks about where she is working. But is she talking about where she is working at the time the story happened? Because wouldn't that be different from where she's actually working as the video takes place? Like, if there's stories from her past... Like, am I making sense here? This makes sense, right? Like, As of now, altogether, with every accusation Emily has leveled on people online, if we included her sociopathic ex-boyfriend, this is now the 8th person around her in a romantic setting that is apparently abusive towards her. I will go in depth with every accusation in part 13, but this started with her teacher who told her to stop drawing sexual images of him. She stated publicly and emotionally raped her for telling her to stop. Her first boyfriend, who she said got her pregnant after they broke up and stated it caused her to self-harm. Her school boyfriend, who dedicated an entire WordPress blog to Anthony, Sean, Carl, Bob, and now this person. According to Emily, every person save her husband has been abusive towards her. That's not to mention what she has stated about some of her ex-boyfriends, girlfriends on her channel. But, like, she's still friends with the one ex-boyfriend and works for his mom, right? According to Shannon. So how has she talked about every boyfriend being abusive if she still has a relationship with that guy and his mom in a business manner? Like, what? Like, it just doesn't add up. Like, she'll say one thing and then everything else changes. Clearly very self-involved and paranoid, and far doing this so brazenly online with no proof is disturbing, to say the very least. Reminder, Emily states in her video that she doesn't have any screenshots or evidence to back up what she is saying. As I have demonstrated so far, we have been able to find plenty of screenshots from her past 10 years of posting online under multiple aliases, and while it is apparent that some do back up what she is saying, like her at some point being fired for what she was doing online, she withholds the evidence because she is lying about the context in which it happened, when it happened, and why it happened. Or maybe she just doesn't save every damn conversation she ever has online. That might be it too. Maybe that's only you, Shannon. She cannot show proof that she had been fired from her job because she said while she was camming when it happened a year ago, she can't talk about her YouTube channel or mention that she went by the name Emily Sugarfruit. No, she talked about this because that would lead to proof she was sober 2 years earlier than that. No, actually, if you go back and listen to people talk about her as Emily Sugarfruit, they say she wasn't sober. So again, no, that's not true. And show that she was never homeless. She cannot show when she was a cam girl, because that actually happened while she was dating her last boyfriend and living with his mom. 2 people she allows her around her children. So again, like, it's a side hustle. Who's to say she wasn't doing it as a side hustle? Like, you got to do what you got to do to survive, man. Like, the fact that you're shaming a person just for what they had to do to, like, eat and survive is just disgusting. Like, who cares, man? She cannot show the harassment she was getting online for posting under the name Emily Sugarfruit, because that would go against the idea that Anthony and I were harassing her. But she did show that, the only thing I can say that, like, Shannon may have gotten right here is, like, maybe she didn't say this is during the time that I was listed as Emily Sugarfruit. She just said during this time they harassed me. Did she stop every second and be like, now this wasn't as Emily Arfold, this was as Emily Sugarfruit? No, because, like, that it would be a constant switch up. Not only that, like, maybe she just didn't even think to do that. Like, maybe she just thought, like, it was me, it was my account. Why do I have to keep switching to different account names to tell you it happened to me? Like, none of us are, like, that specifically psychotic about making sure to be like, now, don't get this wrong. I'm not trying to lie, because if you're not lying, you don't have to constantly add more to the story to make it sound like you're not lying. You can always tell someone's lying when they, like, go on and become overly descriptive. And that's not something Emily did. She just said, it happened to me, all right? Proof exists that shows she is lying. No proof exists that shows what she said happened actually happened. Emily admits this herself in her video when she stated that her lawyer and PI said she has no case on Tumblr. Having no case and it not happening are 2 different things. Having no case means you can't prosecute. There's many, many cases, especially when it comes to stalking, harassment, and even abuse, even spousal abuse, or people kidnapping their own kids from each other, where the police cannot have a case and press charges even though something horrible has been done. This is total BS. Okay, let me get back on here. Proof exists that shows she is lying. No proof. Okay, we got that. When she stated that lying about this would ruin her reputation and career, so everyone should just believe her. only response to people questioning her was, quote, "I wouldn't lie about this, only to be shown lying about this more." Oh, God, that ends chapter 5. Oh, my God. Ugh. That was way too long. I am hitting an hour on this video, maybe more. I can't even tell anymore. I've lost all track of time. I've entered another dimension in which, maybe different realms collide and Shannon is like king of the world. So, the amount of psychopathy in this one is just off the scales. Like, I'm not trying to armchair analyze her, but there's just some stuff in here where you're just like, really, you need to go this far, and really you think throwing all this extra information at us is going to convince us, or just repeating the same things again and again, or slandering these other people who you don't even know what they did or who they did, or that they don't talk to you anymore. I mean, I think it really shows that none of the people, she said, oh, her old boyfriend, I don't know why he's standing up for her. That's so messed up if he knew how she was talking about him. Probably he's standing up for her, and he's actually come forward with evidence, as well as all these other people online who have YouTube channels, because they experienced the same thing Emily did from you, maybe in smaller amounts. But how come nobody from your side is showing up and speaking? You have all these people you keep talking about that'll show up in court to testify. They'll show up in court to testify. They can back this up. But nobody did. Nobody. I don't get it, man. I don't understand, dude. It's insane. We are how many pages in now, guys? We are page 68 of 112. I'm about halfway done almost. A little over halfway done, I should say. And I am getting really sick of this. I mean, I feel like this will be really good, that it's a great analysis, and it really lets me see things to be aware of in the future for YouTube drama, what never to say or how never to talk online, like Shannon does here. But holy hell, this is dissecting the anatomy of someone becoming a psychopath. This is insanity to me. I don't know, man. I don't wish anything bad on Shannon. I really don't wish her any hurt or threat or anything like that. Honestly, if there was one thing I could wish for her, it was that she got a lot of help and got away from Anthony. I think she needs to absolutely cut ties with Anthony, get a buttload of psychological help, stay off the internet for a while, do some art therapy, maybe some meditation on herself, especially very self-reflective meditation, and maybe, just maybe, none of that's going to happen. Who the hell am I to say any of this is going to happen? If this happens, that's great, but my doubts are stronger than my belief that it will happen. Let's put it that way. Okay, guys, I hope that wasn't too depressing to read through or too frustrating. It was a bit frustrating for me, but I enjoy that you guys stick with me through all of these. You guys absolutely make it worth it. Sorry about yesterday's video being black and white. If I made any mistakes today, let me know. It's fine. The craziest thing you heard in today's, let me know, because some of these were so crazy that they just kind of blew my mind. Thank you if you watched all the way to this point. My God, I hope I gave you enough to listen to while you're drawing. You could have done a whole goddamn mosaic at this point. Have a good one, guys. I'll talk to you again real soon. I've been the Inksmith. Have a great rest of the day.